Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Gamer Show. I'm one of your hosts of two, Fred Y. Alright, we're going to jump right into it. As the title say, please tell someone, tell Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, it's in Laurel, Maryland, to tell him that you cannot keep your drivers on the road for 16 hours. Okay? And this is stemming back to what I was saying about box truck companies. Okay? And I have to include every box truck company in this because every box truck company does not follow DOT regulations when it comes to their drivers on the road. And I'm going to tell you why that is facts, right? Now, every box truck company that I've worked for, and they've all been black owned box truck companies, they have never followed DOT regulations as far as having the well, I'm saying the last lady that I worked for, she followed DOT regulations to not all the way, but some stuff that she did. Either they don't have the equipment that you need for you, either there's something wrong with the truck, or the biggest thing is the hours that you spend on the road. Okay, that is the biggest thing. And I'm gonna tell you this: we're gonna do some calculations of hours that you're supposed to be on the road and the time that you're supposed to be off. And I'm gonna have to use something to jot that down with. Okay, so. And congratulations to Michelle Smith, Matt, Mabin, Michael Thompson, and I did the video for. It's up on Facebook. Y'all go check our work out. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what it is. When you are driving a box truck, especially, and I'm talking about Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland. Oh, and even before I start, y'all please don't forget about the Madden tournament going on the 14th of this month. It's $25 to enter into the Madden tournament. The prize will be a copy of the new Madden game that comes out later on this month. And we're trying to get the runner-up a prize as well. So whether you win or lose, you will get some sort of compensation for being in the tournament. It's also an arcade night where you can come in. We were supposed to have VR headsets, but my only thing with that is the sweat and with the coronavirus and all that other stuff and this Delta strain. So if I can't get these masks that you put on before you put the actual headset on, I think we're going to opt out of the VR. But you can play arcade games and old retro home console games. All right. So let's do this. Back to the topic. Now, when you're driving a box truck, you don't have to have a CDL. A box truck, non-CDL box truck, is between 10,000 and 26,000 pounds, and that's all you are able to drive, that truck with that amount of weight. All right. Then you can only be on the road 10 hours with a 30-minute break within that first 3 hours. You have to take your 30-minute break, and this is all done either on written logs that you have to physically write down. Hey, I started my pre-trip when you woke up in the morning. I started my pre-trip at 7 o'clock. I ended my pre-trip at 7:15. I was on the road at 7:20. You know what I'm saying? So when I say 10 hours, 10 hours is from when you start driving the truck. Okay? When you start driving that truck, that's when your 10 hours begin, because your pre-trip does not count towards your hours. Your pre-trip, you're off. Well, you would know what I mean if you get the Keep Trucking app. And the Keep Trucking app is better than paper logs, because I ran into a lot of truckers like at these fuel stops when I was kind of aggravated about something, and they was like, well, you can, manifest your written log. Well, you can finesse your written log, but that doesn't help you. That helps the company that you're working for, so you can then spend more hours on the road. See, so you can be tired and manipulate the system. You know what I'm saying? And why are you going to do that? You're not getting no extra money for that. And plus, you're going to be tired. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to my man before the stream, and his son used to work for him, because I was like, yo, I'm about to go on Facebook, and I'm about to talk about Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Lower Maryland. He was like, yeah, my son used to work for him. I was like, oh, used to? And I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, well, something about a lift gate. And Bilal is famous for blaming you for stuff that you have no control of over, or that you didn't do. Okay? Because he blamed me a couple of times for some stuff that I had nothing to do with. And like these rider trucks that he rent, these straight trucks is what they call them. You can't sleep in these trucks. So let's go over some things again. Again, I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but you cannot drive more than 10 hours in a box truck. Okay? Non-CDL with these box truck companies. And this is what happens, right? So, and y'all can't see this, but I'm going to jot everything down, right? Now, 10 hours, right? So say you start your day, you wake up at 7 o'clock, right? Well, this is a very bad example, because, okay, this is the way that Bilal did it. He would give you the truck, and okay, say you get the truck on a Friday, right? And then you have to pick up a load that Friday. And the load has to be in another state by Monday, right? So you would pick the truck up, you would get the load, and then you would go home, okay? That's well under your 10 hours, right? Well under your 10 hours, okay? So say that you already have a load in your truck and you're home. Say you live in Maryland, right? And you have to go to, I would say, because he had tried to get someplace close. So I would say maybe like New Jersey, or somewhere like that. So you would have to leave that Sunday evening, and drive and get a hotel and stay at the hotel, and then that drop needs to be dropped by 8 o'clock that morning, right? So let's start with that example. So you got a load on your truck, and you need to make a drop by 8 o'clock a.m. So what you do, you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, okay? Wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Go inspect the truck, because you got to check the fluids and all that other stuff. You got to do your pre-trip. So check the fluids. So you do that from 7 o'clock to 7:15. Okay? 7 o'clock to 7:15. But you're not on the clock. Right? So now, this is you doing either a written log, or you're using the Keep Trucking app. Okay? So you get in the truck about 7:15. You start the truck up. your drop has to be dropped by 8 o'clock, right? So you leave your depending on how far that drop is. Let's say 7:15. You get on the road at I would say 7:30. Okay? So from 7:15 to 7:30, that's 15 minutes that you spent. No, from 7:15 to 7:30. Okay? So you're off duty. You don't have any driving time. Now, you start driving at 7:30. You know what I'm saying? You may stop past, get something to eat or whatever, and that's your personal time, right? To get something to eat. That doesn't count against your 10 hours because that's your personal time, right? So, you actually start driving from, let's say the drop is 10 minutes away. All right. So, and I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to do this calculation right. But you start driving from 7:45 to about 7:55, right? Because you always try to want to get there early. So you're at the drop at 7:55 and you docked. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't drive that much. You're still under that hour, right? So now you got 9 hours and some change for the rest of the day, right? Now, this is where the stuff hits the fan. Some days it would take them so long to unload, depending on, you could have maybe 2 or 3 pallets in the back of your 26-footer truck. And they would take like up to 10 o'clock to unload you. All right. So that's the best case scenario, I'm going to say. So let's start. They offloaded you and you were done by 10 o'clock, right? 10 a.m. So now you pull off because 9 times out of 10, he doesn't have a route already planned for you, right? Because this route that you just dropped off, you got Friday. And, majority of the stuff was closed down. You know what I'm saying? So they normally don't do deliveries on Saturdays and Sundays. So dispatch is closed down, right? So from 10, this Bama would at least take, I say, the longest that I've waited is until 5 o'clock, right? And this is after one failed pickup because something happened where, I tell you, one time I went to a drop where I arrived there, but they would not let me pick up the freight because my name wasn't on the bill. My name had to be on that bill. And, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it wasn't Trusted Miles Transportation. You were like, it was a third party. So you were hired as a third party. So when you come in there and it's like, hey, I'm here to pick up load going to Georgia or South Carolina. And I'm with Trusted Miles Transportation. Well, we don't see Trusted Miles Transportation. Maybe transport. Yeah, that may be it. Because he don't give you the BOL. And what this Bama used to do all the time that used to tick me off was he would give you portion of the description of the BOL. He would text you and it would say something, but you wouldn't have the full description of anything on that BOL. So you wouldn't know the product that you're picking up. You wouldn't know anything. You would just know the address to drop. And then sometimes he wouldn't even tell you where you was taking that load to. And he did that for a specific reason. And he did that because he was trying to be real sneaky, right? So from 10 o'clock, I would say till 5 o'clock that you would get a load. Okay. So you've already wasted multiple hours. And then you're getting back on the road. He gives you a destination to go. And then you get there around about, let's say 6:30. So you get the job at, let's say 5 o'clock, but then it takes you maybe an hour and some change to get there, right? So I would say 6:30. You get there at the pickup at 6:30. And the reason why I say it takes so long is because if you're in Jersey, anytime you're in Jersey and you have to deal with the Jersey Turnpike or anything around there, you're going to be stuck in traffic. You're going to be stuck in Jersey rush hour traffic. You're going to be stuck in, that casino traffic or any type of traffic you're going to be stuck in. So you're going to catch that, right? So from 7 in the morning to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you haven't really been on the road driving, work related stuff until maybe, maybe not even an hour. Not even an hour. I'll say from 7 to 5, you may have been on the road for about, I say, no more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So let's say 30 to keep my math right. So now from 7 to 5, you only been driving. Your driving hours only been 30 minutes. So 30 minutes from the 10 hours that you are a lot on the road, you now have 9 hours and 30 minutes that you can be on that road. Now, this is what this Bama would do. He would send you from Jersey to, let's say, North Carolina or Georgia, Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Now, to get to Atlanta from Jersey, you're going to have to go through multiple states. You're going to have to go through, and this may be the right order and this may not be the right order, but these are the states that you have to go through. You have to push through Delaware. Well, first you have to go through Jersey. Then you have to go through Delaware. Then you have to go through Pennsylvania. Then you have to go through Maryland. And then you have to go through West Virginia. And it's kind of tricky because when you go through West Virginia, somehow it ends you back up to either Pennsylvania or Maryland, one of the two. I forget how it does. But you go through that one of those states, either Pennsylvania or Maryland twice. Okay, so that's Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then finally Georgia. So you got to travel through 9 states, right? So from you got 9 hours and 30 minutes to travel through 9 states. Even in a car, depending on where you are in Jersey, you're not even going to make that 9-hour trip in a car unless you speedballing. Because if you're riding with somebody, like a person like myself that loves to drive, right? That loved to drive, I can make that trip no problem because I go to Florida 3 times a year just for holiday. You know what I mean? So driving to Florida was nothing to me. I can drive straight to Florida, no problem. When I was younger, I could do it now, but I still get fatigued. But yo, you have to drive from Jersey to Georgia. You can't make that in the rest of the hours that you got, and you probably have a little bit less than that. So from Jersey to let me do this. Amazon. Alexa, how long does it take to drive from New Jersey to Georgia?
From New Jersey, a drive to California would take about 1 day and 18 hours.
No, she's stupid. Alexa, how long does it take to drive from New Jersey to Georgia?
From New Jersey, a drive to Georgia would take about 13 hours and 13 minutes.
Okay. So there you have it. 13 hours and 13 minutes from New Jersey to Georgia. How are you going to drive that less than the time that you have? And on that note, when you're driving in a box truck, especially if these box trucks that people that these companies rent, they are governed. And when I say they're governed at a certain, they're capped at a certain miles that you can go. They're supposed to be capped at 65, but you're not going to get 65 miles out of them. Even if you're going downhill, you're not going. Well, the only way that you will get 65 miles an hour out of a box truck is when you're in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, but only when you're going down the mountains. That's the only time that you're going to get it. On a flat road, you're not going to get it, whether you're empty or whether you're full up in the back. You're not going to get it, right? So this is an impossible task that he kept asking his box truck drivers to do. And I'm going to admit, yeah, I did a couple of them a couple of times because the money was good. I'm not going to lie about that. I did a couple of them. The money was good. You know what I'm saying? It was able for me to pay my mortgage 3 months ahead. You know what I'm saying? So the money was good. I mean, it wasn't like, I would say a little over $1,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? But that's pennies compared to what real truck drivers make. You know what I'm saying? I was bringing home at least like maybe either 12 or 13, something like that. But other than that, man, it was just wear and tear on my body. You understand? Because all that driving that I was doing, when I got home, I would sleep. I would get home at Friday night, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. I would sleep all day Saturday. And then when I woke up Sunday, I had to leave the house because I had to be near the drop for Monday. You know what I'm saying? So there was no time at home. You understand? So that's what Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation, does to his drivers. And that's what all box truck companies do to their drivers. And this is the thing. Somebody please send this video to somebody that can do something about it, because the way that these dispatchers treat these box truck drivers is ridiculous. For you to keep calling me every 30 minutes to an hour asking me the status of my location is ridiculous. Because now I'm getting frustrated because I don't want to touch the phone. When you're driving in a box truck, you go ahead and pass a DOT officer and you got your hands on your phone. You're talking about a $10,000 fine plus anything else that's wrong with that truck. All that falls on you. All that falls on you. And you think that the company is going to pay for that? Nope. Because you was on your phone. Somehow they're going to twist it and turn it around on you. Then Why was you on your phone? Why your dispatch keep calling me? And then Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland. This fool would get so mad at me when I didn't answer the phone. I didn't answer the phone for these dispatches because at that time I didn't even have a trucker's headset. And why you keep calling me every 45 minutes? I'm 45 minutes from where I was at when you first called me. You know what I'm saying? So if your load is not due until the next day, why you keep calling me? Okay. And these dispatchers know that the product is in a box truck because that's what the BOL says, calls for. It calls for a box truck, or it calls for a van, or it calls for a reefer truck, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They know you're not in a semi because that's not what that load required. It didn't require a 52 footer. It required a 26 footer. 26 foot and 52. That's a heck of a difference. See, I'm trying not to curse so everybody can watch this. So that's a heck of a difference between, being in this situation and being in that situation. And these dispatchers, they know that, right? And what y'all don't know is that these companies take out insurance on you. Because when you get into a wreck, and you will because you'll be done with fatigue, when you get into a wreck and you unfortunately kill yourself, your spouse is not going to receive anything because that load was already insured. So they're going to get their money back. But that life that you just lost, you ain't going to get back. So they're going to capitalize on your life and that load that they lost because it's your fault because you was driving erratically or you was doing this and doing that. Little do they know you're frustrated, you're mentally drained, and you're tired because you're on the road. Now get back to the hours. Now from Jersey, now you just heard what my girl said, right? She said 13 hours. So say dummies are foolish enough to drive that 13 hours from 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Or no, 6:30. So 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not even accurate. That's not even accurate. You know what I'm saying? Because the paperwork is saying that it's 500 and some odd miles or whatever that mileage is. But in a box truck, you can only take 50 miles and you can only do 50 miles in 1 hour. Let's do this real quick. Amazon, Alexa, how many miles is it from New Jersey to Georgia?
From New Jersey, Georgia is 809.5 miles away by car.
800. 800 miles, right? And she said that you can get there in 13 hours in a car, not a box truck. So, let's do the math, right? 800 miles. Alexa, 800 miles times 50.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No.
800 miles times what?
No. Am I going to add this right? Okay, so 800 miles.
I don't know that.
So it's 800 miles, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So 16 hours. It's a 16-hour drive. 800 miles is 16 hours. 800 miles is 16 hours in a box truck. 800 miles is 16 hours in a box truck. You don't have that time. And if you're foolish enough, because I've done it a couple of times, if you're foolish enough to drive that, like I used to be a couple of times, then when you get to your hotel at like 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that, or even you don't even get to sleep in the hotel. But if you have to go that far of a distance, let's say 500 miles, right? So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 hours. So it's 10 hours. So if you have a destination where you have to go 500 miles, right? And 10 hours, and you start at 6:30. Let's give Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, a break. And let's say that the Bama wants you to drive 500 miles, right? That's 10 hours in a box truck. Remember what I'm saying. And you could do the calculation yourself if you want. Now you have to, from 6:30, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4:30. You get to your destination at 4:30 in the morning, right? If you get to your destination at 4:30 in the morning, that's just the driving. You know what I'm saying? So what I used to do was I used to see what crack roof inn or red roof inn I can stay in that's like maybe less than 10 miles away from the drop. So maybe I would get there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you're 4 o'clock, you done drove way past your time that you were supposed to be on the road. So you're already in DOT violation there. And your app, when you look on the app will keep saying violation, violation, violation. Now, if you want to pick up in the morning and start it all over again, from 4:30, you have to be off the clock for 11 hours. Now, let's see where 11 hours is going to put you at. Let's do 4 o'clock. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can't even get no rest because you're going to have to ask for a late checkout because you got 3 more hours to go. You got to spend 3 more hours of rest. And you can't get rest when you get to a hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning and you have to make a drop at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no way that you can get your rest. So see, that's where things get all messed up. Okay? So I'm telling you, that's how Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, that's how he runs his company. That's exactly how he runs his company. And I wish I can get, since the dude don't work for him no more, I'm going to try to see if I can give him a call and maybe he can come on. So you people that think I'm bashing Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, see if my facts aren't my words aren't facts. Because that's what you do. You know what I mean? So any box truck company does this. Every box truck company does this. And I hate to say, but it's so true. I've never worked for a white person that owned a box truck. I always worked for either a black person or African person, right? And we are the worst. We are the worst to work for in that box truck company industry. I don't know what's going on with my words today. But we are the worst to work for because we don't follow rules and we always try to cut corners. Now, I'm going to have to say that because every box truck company does not allow you to follow DOT regulations because the drop has to be done by a certain time. Now, the reason why they tell you that you can only drive 10 hours. It's only 24 hours in the day. The reason why they tell you 10 hours driving with a 30-hour minute break and off duty for 11 hours. You're not going to sleep 11 hours. There's no way that you're going to sleep 11 hours. If when you get at the hotel, first you got to check in. Then you got to find, you know what I'm saying? You have to ride around sometimes. That's why you would always choose a red roof in a hotel. I've never had a problem parking a 26-footer box truck at a red roof inn. So you park your truck there and they got plenty of spaces. Sometimes some spaces was tight. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes some spaces was tight. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they would have a specific place where box trucks would park. But any other hotel, you would run into problems. That's why I always tried to find a red roof inn. That wasn't always the case. It may have been another hotel, but that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So you go in the hotel room. You gotta check in with the clerk. You gotta after that. That's like maybe a 15-minute process. Then you got, you know what I'm saying, if you already got your bags, you know what I mean, on you, you go in there. So what I did was I carried my bag, my Roku stick, so I can plug it up to the TV, so I can watch some YouTube videos, because I don't watch TV. And, you know, my foot massager. Put my feet in the foot massager, you know what I'm saying, and get something to eat. So as soon as I get in the room, I gotta wind down, plug the Roku TV up, the little stick, plug in the foot massager, you know what I'm saying, warm up the food that I brought, because by that time it's cold, and just sit down and eat. And now I gotta jump in the shower, lay in the bed, and wind down. For a while, I would do all of this without hooking up the Roku drink, you know what I'm saying, take my shower, get in the bed, put the foot massager on, you know, put it in the bed, plug it up. The foot massager runs for at least 30 minutes. And then hopefully somehow I would fall asleep. But I wouldn't fall straight asleep. I would wind up getting not even 8 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because my foot would be in pain. You know what I'm saying? So, and then my back, that's what you get for driving in them straight trucks. So you would never get 11 hours of sleep. You just got 11 hours off duty. And the reason why I think that they said 11 hours is because they know you're not going to get 11 hours. You're going to get at least 8 or 7 or 5 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what you do with that 11 hours, if you choose not to sleep, if you choose to stay up all night, and, you know what I'm saying, smoke or drink, that's on you. That's your time. Then when you get in the truck and you tired, I can't blame Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. I can't blame him for the tiredness that you're going through. So that's just an example. But I'm telling you people, you can either follow my advice or you can't. Or you won't. That's up to you. But I am testimonial proof that box truck companies do not follow any DOT regulation protocol. Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, he has told me when I went through that weigh station incident that you can use your BOL as your log. You can't. Your BOL doesn't tell you how many times you stopped, where you took your break at. It just tells you what you have in that load. It doesn't give you no specific detailed time. So that right there, stupid. You know what I'm saying? You can't use that, right? The other thing that Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, told me was that on 95, going north from Maryland, going south from Maryland, that, or is it 495? However you get to Florida or Georgia, right? This Bama, Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland, the Bama said that there is no 70-mile-an-hour road on 95 until you hit Georgia. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Have you drove to King's Dominion before? Have you drove to Busch Gardens before? Have you drove to Captain what's that seafood place I used to, Captain George's? Have you drove to Captain George's before? Have you drove to Great Wolf Lodge before? Have you drove to any of these places taking 95? I'm not talking about just taking 301 straight up and then hopping on 95 and getting to King's Dominion in like maybe 20, 30 minutes. Probably less than that. The back road. I'm not talking about that. Brother, have you gone from the mixing bowl past that? Have you went to south of the border to get some fireworks? I don't know where you living at, brother, or where you driving from. I ain't even calling him my brother. Notice, y'all need to see in the title. Notice what I did. And look at the title of this, and you'll see what I did. But this Bama said that there's no 70-mile-an-hour road until you get to Georgia. Lord have mercy on that poor man's soul. And the reason why I'm doing this to Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland, when we got into it, when he sent the guy that, you know what I'm saying, that one of the guys I was cool with on his team, when he sent him to my house to pick up that Ryder truck that was sitting in front of my house, he didn't come get it himself. He sent somebody else. So he put somebody else in the firing line because all that energy that he was producing over the phone, he couldn't keep it up. He couldn't keep it up. You sent somebody else to my house to pick up your truck when you're this tough guy. Now, I'm not going to say everything I said, but I guess whatever I said warned him not to come to my house, to send somebody else, because he said, okay, I'm about to come pick up my truck. Come on, sucker. Come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on. And you send another guy to my house instead of sending yourself to the house. Come on, man. You're a fool. But I'm telling y'all, man. Box truck companies like Bilal Hollister that owns Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. This fool is going to potentially ruin your license. He's going to give you fines and tickets that he's not going to pay for. Him and every other box truck company is going to do the same. Now, believe me or not, the only one good thing I have to say about Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland, is that the pay was good in the beginning. The hotels. Now, I remember the Bama used to pay, your per diem was only $80. But when you're in certain parts of the states and you're by airports and stuff like that, well, it's a little bit more. You can't find $80 hotels. There's no, and then some of the hotels are so that they're packed. Then you got to keep driving around for like an hour and a half after you already over your time. And that's what had to happen sometimes. I would get there, the hotel would be sold out because I'm not giving my credit card information over the phone that Red Roof Inn wants. So by the time I get there, it's sold out. Then I go to another hotel, it's sold out. And then I go to one hotel, well, it's going to be $90, $100 and some odd dollars with tax. And I'm trying to call him at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's not answering the phone before I make this purchase. Because I shouldn't have to pay for that. I'm doing you a solid by doing that because I'm driving all around, and I don't want to sleep in the truck. How am I going to shower in the morning? How am I going to brush my teeth in the morning? You know what I'm saying? I can't keep going to the Walmarts and taking bird baths. You know what I'm saying? Can't keep doing that. But that's what Bilal Hollister at Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, he would do. He would do. Now I found out that I think he's in the box trucks himself now, because I guess all the cats that worked for him finally got hit and left. Like my man's son, I told you at the beginning, he doesn't work for him anymore. And he said, well, I think he's in the trucks by himself. Good thing. You talking about the last thing that you said to me was stay broke. Yeah, you stay tired. Now you understand that you can't get to places at the same time that the BOL says. You can't. You cannot. And if he sees this video, which I hope he does, I hope, please, somebody get in contact with Mr. Hart. I ain't even gonna call him Mr. Please, somebody get in contact with Bilal Hollister that owns Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland. Please, I'm begging you, please let him see this video and refer to the other video that I did. He want to come on the show? Come on, Slim. Come on, Slim. I said the things I had to say. And I got facts. You didn't come to the house because you was scared. You was scared to come to the house to pick up that box truck. You was scared. You was scared. If you calling me not a man, you saying I wasn't a man, I was acting like a little boy. How am I acting like a little boy when I want to follow DOT regulations? I told y'all the story about, me being in Vermont and at the weight station and not having all the information that the officer is asking me, and he was being real cool. I'm in a racist part of the town to begin with, so I'm thinking that the dude's going to jam me up anyway. And I called Bilal, and I'm like, yo, I need the DOT numbers because I don't have it. Calm. And this dude start freaking out. And then this clown said, why are you listening to the DOT officer? You're always listening to everybody else. Well, you're not DOT, brother. And apparently you don't know 70-mile-an-hour roads where they exist at. And you saying you can use the BOL as the show proof of where you stopped at and all that. You a clown, man. You are a clown. And let me tell you something. That officer heard everything that you were saying on that phone because I had you on speaker. He heard everything that you were saying on the phone. He didn't write me tickets. And I hope he wrote you some tickets. Because what he said to me, he said, I'm not even going to write you any tickets, man. He said, you just seems like you're an honest guy just trying to, something about trying to get money for your family or something like that. And that word, I don't think that was verbatim, but that's close to what he said. Because then after he said that, he said, look, there is a truck stop right on the next exit. He said, follow me to that truck stop. He said, and park the truck. He said, park the truck for 11 hours or 10 hours or one of those, he said. Park the truck. and just start back in the morning. He said, but do not move the truck. He said, go inside, get you a logbook, and start writing down your stuff. That's what he said. He said, but I could have wrote you so many tickets, and I could have wrote him so many tickets. And I could have towed your truck. He said, but I'm not going to do that. So he had every right to tow that truck, but he didn't. But he said he would have wrote Bilal Hollister at Trust Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland all them tickets because the rage that was going over the phone. And me and him just went back and forth that day. While I'm sitting, I had to sleep in the truck. And then the Bama, I know the Bama said one time that if you ever have to sleep in the truck, I'll compensate you for it. Didn't. How am I the bad guy when I had to pull over in the wait station and they're asking me questions that I can't answer? I'm not going to sit up here and lie. He accepted all the information that I gave him. What time I started in the morning, where I stopped at. I knew all of that. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing he was looking for was the DOT number. That was it. He was fine with everything else that I gave him. He wanted his DOT number. Okay? So when you're riding at least with rider trucks, Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland, he would rent the trucks for 30 days. So you would use that DOT number that was on the truck as your DOT number. As long as you have it less than 30 days, you didn't have to produce a DOT number. And the cop didn't even trip that I didn't have my DOT card physically on me. I had a picture of it. He said, man, most guys don't even do that. So he was cool. I could have got a ticket for not having my DOT card on me. But he was cool with that. Then that would have been my fault. Not Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland. That wouldn't have been his fault. That would have been my fault. So, I don't want these videos that I do to run over. But what I'm just telling y'all is that you can go work for these box truck companies if you want to. That's your prerogative. And you can do what you want to do. Right, Ted? All right. So, and that's if you don't listen to music, you won't get that. Anyway. So, if you want to work at these box truck companies, man, just be prepared to follow the DOT regulations and be prepared to have another job waiting for you. Because once you start following DOT regulations with these box truck companies, like Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland, owned by Bilal Hollister, they're going to let you go. They are going to let you go. Because now you're worth nothing to them. You know, these loads have to be on time or they get a penalty. I've never had a load that was late. Never. Out of all the box truck companies that I worked for, I've never had a load. I had never had the delivery dropped off late. Never. I was always on time. That's the one thing I can say about me. I'm very punctual when it comes to this driving, by any means necessary. Now, foolishly, that was on my part. And I can't blame him for at least that. Who am I talking about? Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation located in Lower Maryland. I can't blame him for that. But what I can blame him for is the ending, the demise of our man-to-man. Now, the one thing, and this is for any job that I take, you're never going to talk to me like I'm a child. You left your kids at home when your kids full grown. I'm not a child. You talk to me like an adult, or we're going to have some problems. I'm going to let you slide a couple of times because at the end of the day, Chuck Brown said, "Keep what you got till you get what you need." And I try to follow that. You know what I'm saying? Because the mortgage ain't gonna pay itself. But before I potentially kirk out on the person, I always have something lined up for the next move. Because I'm playing chess, not checkers. So that's about it, y'all. But remember what I said. 10 hours of road time. Within 3 hours of that, you must take a 30-minute break. After that, you must rest for 11 hours. Not rest, but you have to be off duty for 11 hours. And what you do with that 11 hours and that 11-hour mark, that's your business. If you choose not to rest, that's your business. That part you can't blame on the person that you're working for, because if it's up to you, you have to do that. But there is no way, and somebody please forward this video to somebody that can do something about these box truck companies. If you get to your predestination anytime after 12 o'clock and your load has to be dropped off by 8 o'clock in the morning, that's what usual time that it needs to be dropped off. There's no way possible that you could do that. Let's look. 12, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, even anytime after 12 o'clock, you can't. You can't. Let me see. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. 12, 10, 11. You need to be off the road and in the hotel by 10 o'clock. That's basically it. Anytime after 10 o'clock, when you're dealing with a box truck, you're in violation. If you're not in your hotel room, at least you got to be in there by 10 o'clock. Then you're in violation. You're in violation. It has to be somewhere where some box truck companies, I think you can probably make some money if you're dealing in the same state. So if I'm delivering goods in Maryland, I'm in Hagerstown or Ocean City, I'm about to say Atlantic City. Anywhere in Maryland, you're fine. You're fine. If you're in the same state that you're traveling in, that you're dropping off these loads, I think you're pretty good. Depending on what state you live in, some states are much larger than others. But if you're dealing with another state, and sometimes it's 3 states over or 4 states over, there's no way that you can do that legally. Box truck drivers, they cannot sleep. You cannot sleep in your truck. You get pulled over by DOT and you tell them where you slept at. You tell them you slept in that box truck. Man, you're going to be paying fines, because there's no way that you can stretch out. There's no way that you can get comfortable in a box truck. No way. So that's all my time. So look, y'all, somebody please tell Bilal Hollister, Trusted Miles Transportation, located in Laurel, Maryland, to tell his, I don't know if he still got people working for him now, but if he want to drive the 16 hours in the truck, let him. You know what I'm saying? But when he start hiring people back, or if he got people, man, Tell his Bama that he can't keep you on the road for 16 hours, because that's what he'll say. I can legitimately keep you on the road for 16 hours. That's not that. He's talking about some type of rule where you get more time to offload and unload on your box truck, but you still only allowed 10 hours driving the road, and that's only one time in a month that some type of rule is exempt, but you can still only do 10 hours. So that's it, Bama. Hey man, y'all don't forget about the Madden tournament on the 14th. It's $25 to enter in to the tournament, and you will win a copy of the Madden that's coming out later on this month. But if you just want to come in and enjoy the arcades and the retro systems, it's $15 for adults, $5 for kids under 15. All right. So thanks for watching, man. And I'll probably come back through a little bit later on with my intro went out. I took too long ago. But I do have another joint that I'm about to do, right? I'll give you a hint. I'll give it away if you can guess what it is. I'll give you a hint. It's overpriced. Okay, so if you can figure that out, I'll give you what I got. Alright? So I'll see you next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Don't work for Trusted Miles Transportation located in Laurel, Maryland. The owner name is Bilal. See y'all.